Hey guys, welcome to part 3 of repairing this Celica, doing the rust repairs and getting ready for sale. We've had our first video, which was the introduction and a bit of rust repairs. We've had our second video, which was some in-depth repairs on the rear quarter on the left hand side. We've still got a bit more rust repairs to do. Let's knock it on its head. Let's get this thing listed for sale. I think we'll start off by smashing out the back end. On that note, we've got a bit of a tear here, right where the exhaust is, and also where the tail light is. Easy done. And our next step moving on is to deal with things like these lips, which are a bit rotten. And due to the close nature of some of these near the boot hinges, we're going to have to pop it off, as well as disconnect the spring that's holding up the hinge. Out of the way nicely. Easy taken care of. Now we can go on to the next side. That'll be the rest of the boot lip all sorted. Next up, we'll tackle this right hand rear quarter repair, looking pretty straightforward. And like some sort of standard practice, more work than anticipated. I'm now going to have to cut this outer section of flare off so I can now repair this inner section. Out fucking standing. That'll fit in quite nicely. Easy done. Time to sort these back window areas. All sorted. Now as we move to the left hand side, we've got essentially three pieces to do. We've got this part here, and then this part here. This part here is spot welded onto this deck filler panel, which is one piece with a parcel tray. Then we've got basically what is a piece of angle steel, which is spot welded all the way along here. They're all rotten out here, so we're going to replace this edge and maybe cut that off. And we've also got to replace this section there. So let's show you how it's done. Now off camera I have finished repairing this piece and that is ready to weld back in place. However, we need to repair this first, so we're going to set that aside. And we're going to do a cut roughly along here, across here, over the edge here, and down here for the bottom part. Now this is going to be destroyed. You can see there's a hole here and a hole here, and all of this here is pretty rotten. By the time I fill all of these up, the likelihood is that this is going to be destroyed. So I'm going to fold up a new piece, I'm going to drill a hole, and I'm going to use the head of a nail and weld it from behind, and then that will be easily taken care of. can now make our new piece. And now that piece is ready to go in. Unfortunately, my little nail trick didn't quite work this time, and now that I've welded it in, I'm not going to take it out again. So you can buy a rivet that will do this job, and that's what we're going to do later. So we're going to keep on moving on. And we're now going to finish off by welding this in place. And that's now the entire back end completely sorted. Alright, so moving forward, we need to start tackling these floors. You can't really see this much from above, but if we take a look underneath, we can see there's a nasty split and dent there. So we need to take care of this. And on the driver's side, we've got at least 4 patches of rust that we can visibly see that need to be taken care of, as well as a split to this seat mounting bracket. Let's knock it on its head, shall we? Easy as that. No real need to grind the top either, because it's going to get more of this body tar on top, so there's no real need to make it look too neat. We'll just focus on making the bottom look a bit neater more than anything. But now we're starting to get a better idea of exactly what we're dealing with. Not too bad. So we'll start off with having this panel fit in here, and we'll mark the circle from below. We need to press it out on a bead roller. So we'll drill the centre of this out now, and that'll fit in nicely. That'll fit through nicely now when it's in place. That'll sit just fine. And now we're ready for the next piece. So in order to do the rear section of floor, we needed this bracket out of the way. There was only 2 spot welds that were remaining. The other side's looking pretty rusty, so we're going to pop this bracket off as well and repair it. With that out of the way, we can then repair the 2 sections of floor. There we go. You can see that bracket's looking pretty shitty. So now that I've got this seat bracket all repaired off camera, fits to the floor pan quite nicely. We'll cut it all out, weld it up, and that'll just about have us done. We can get it all back together. Solid. Righto, that'll do. Time to clean it all up. And now we can repair our inner sill for the seat brace. that's the last of the floor sorted. Only thing left is to take care of some repairs to some bodgy cutout that somebody's done for the gearbox in the past. That'll do. And now we can finally finish our last piece of rust, being this lower front fender. Looks pretty nasty, but we'll sort it out. So we'll start off these repairs by sorting out the inner panel before we cut the outer out. We need to make sure it retains its shape. We can now finally call all of these rust repairs on this car finished. Well, there we are, guys. We're finally done with the rust repairs. It took a lot longer than expected, but so be it. We need to put them all under some primer, and we're going to start looking at putting this car together and making it look a lot more presentable than what it is. It is a fantastic shell, and we need to make it show. Clip can go on now. sitting in a little too much. We're going to need to make this fold a bit more pronounced, unfortunately. And almost just like that, it's sorted. Righto guys, if we take a closer look at these hinges, I can't line that up at all. Turns out that my mate has arseholed me by giving me some TA22 hinges, which are a little bit longer as well. And you can see the kind of clearance that we're getting at the back here. No bloody good. We're going to have to go to his lockup, pick up some new parts in the morning. In the meantime, we'll keep going with this door. We're going to get some driver's glass in there, I think. Pretty good. Alright guys, here we are. We managed to get our goodies. We need our few bits and pieces that were missing or incorrect. Just want to show you quickly the difference between a bonnet stay of a 22 and a 23 body style. The chrome one is the longer one, it's off a 23. And now if we have a look here, in my left hand, so on the right of your screen, is a 22 hinge. And here in my right hand, so on your left, is off a 23. Notice the big step that you've got there, and also that they're not straight on this side. On the 23 it's got its curvature, whereas on the 22 it's flat. So if you're ever looking for one, because to look at normally they look exactly the same, so that just gives you a bit of an indicator when you're shopping. Alright, let's get them back to base, hey? Happy days. Okay guys, so I've had a closer look at the hinges that were on there, that my mate put on there. They are actually 22 body style hinges. And now that I hold the opposite side hinge here, it looks like my mate arseholed me by putting them on the wrong side. Outstanding. Let's get that sorted the right way around, shall we? Hopefully no more arseholing. So I'm not sure how high to put these yet, so I'll put them up high. And that way I can use gravity to drop them down. Okay, can come this way a bit. That will get it first go, but at least we've got it on and we can fine tune the gaps. Not too bad. This side. That side's very high.
That side that needs an adjustment.
Now start to come down. A whole lot needs to move back. Height's not too bad. I think we'll move both of them back for the moment. Pretty good. I think we'll almost leave it like that. This one could go back just a tiny bit more, but that's pretty good for one of these old Celicas. That, our last panel to align is a boot lid. Let's slap that on. Beautiful, that'll do. So we've now got ourselves overall some pretty decent gaps for a car of this era. Happy days. Righto guys, so the next step is to take care of some of this paintwork on the car that's been used as a workbench previously, as you can see. So we're going to hit it with a bit of the old Scotch Brite and we're going to lay down a little bit of white on top of it. Nothing special, just to make it look a little bit better is all. crappy little paint job. It's definitely nothing special, but at least all the panels basically look the same colour now. Anyone that's looking closely will know that it's a crap paint job anyway. But basically any work that's been done to this car, rust repair wise, is just primer and a dash of white paint on the top. So anyone that's curious can see exactly what's been done. Well, I think we better finish putting it together. Let's get this interior sorted, huh? now officially done, ready for sale. There we are, guys. We finally made it. Took a while between videos, my apologies for that, but we're finally ready to sell this car. Why don't we check out what we've actually got. And here we have one 1975 Celica for sale. It has had some extensive rust repairs. I'm now ready to say that this car is essentially 99% rust free. Any rust repairs that have been done to the car have not had any bog work or filler work on top. It's nothing but primer and a light coated crappy white paint. So the exterior of the car is pretty much all complete. We do have all the front windscreen moulds here. It is missing two of the side rear windscreen moulds. It's missing its mirrors. And it's missing the fuel cap. It's also missing the sill moulds down the bottom. But apart from that, she's all there. So as we move on through to the interior, it also needs restoration, but it's all mostly complete. It's missing the bulk of the seat belts, the rear parcel tray, carpet and glove box. It does, however, come with a manual set of pedals and centre console. It's got aftermarket seats and aftermarket steering wheel. And as we move through to the engine bay, the obvious motor and box is missing, as well as its accessories, but the rest of the bay looks mostly there. It appears to have all of its wiring, all steering and suspensions there. Front brakes are all there. The original wheels are pretty rubbish. Maybe only two of them are salvageable. All the rear brakes and suspension is there, except for the rear shock absorbers. Overall, we have a very clean and tidy body shell, ready for restoration and your own choice of motor and gearbox. The car will definitely need a bare metal respray, but overall it looks reasonably straight, and we know that there's essentially no more rust either. Well, there we are, guys. That's the car. It's ready to be sold. I'm going to chuck the link in the description to our Facebook page and to the Gumtree ad. In the meantime, our apologies for being this late with the video. Just doing this kind of work takes its toll, takes its time. We should have a few more frequent videos coming up. The next video that you see, we're back onto the scrap metal Landau, so join us for that. Cheers, guys. Oh, fucking earth on, doesn't it? Oh, you fucking prick. Oh, you turd. Fuck you, right at the end too. Get the fuck off. One of these fucking bolts. Oh, fuck you, you fucking asshole. Fuck's sake, GoPro, stop recording. Wow, after all that, it popped out. Fuck you. Oh, you bloody battery. Bastard. Oh, fuck you, you stupid bloody pen. Ugh. Motherfucker. Fuck you. You shift ball, you prick. Ow, fuck, that hurt. Oh, Motherfucker. Fucking out, fucking standing. Fuck you. Hopefully no more assholing. I feel like naming my mate just quietly. Peter.
This is why modernity is a good thing.
What?
Modernity. Modern.
You're still refusing to leave, aren't you? When you don't even live here. You're not my cat. Come on.